Welcome back to Income Trading 101. Today we're going to take a look at Tezos, symbol XTZ. We're looking at it against the US dollar. And wanted to start off, of course, I really honestly haven't looked at this at all. Certainly haven't traded it. So let's just pull some more. There are a couple of other coins I considered and tokens that I considered taking a look at today, but there's so few, or many of the ones that I haven't covered don't have a lot of data, but this one at least does. It's been active since 2007, so it was active during the first great crypto bubble back in 1718, and came on off and has survived. So looks like back then it had a high a little bit over. Let's see, a high a little bit closer to, 10. Let's see if I can get it, $12.15. So let's go ahead and look at the. I'm going to pull back to basically, we'll just do it post-pandemic, and we're going to start off with our moving averages. I love starting out this way, as you guys already know. So let's take a look at the 10, the 20, and the 30. To start with, and since we're doing daily, it'll be a 10-day, a 20-day, and a 60. I'm sorry, I think I said 30. 60-day. So I use my 10 as my short term. It lets me know when to buy. My 20 would be my kind of midterm. It's what I use to sell, and then my 60-day gives me an idea of kind of the long-term bias and where things are. So right now, looking at the daily, it certainly is a bearish move because we've got the 60 above the 20, above the 10. So all three are in line and looking to head lower. Let's go ahead and switch this out because God knows daily isn't the only way to look at things, thankfully. We're going to go ahead and stretch this. This is the 1 hour. The 1 hour level, we have a little bit of convergence because the 10 has moved above the 60 and the 20 is below. So we've got the 60 in between. So we'll see if basically if you get a few more green bars, then that 20 period will also move a little bit higher. But at the moment, this is definitely inconclusive. Let's look at the 30 minute. 30 minute also is inconclusive. Very interesting. The 10 hasn't quite gotten above the 20. You can look at it numerically, actually, in the upper left-hand corner. You see those numbers changing. So where we are right now, we've got the 10 sitting at 336, and the 20 sitting at 336.48. So a little bit slightly higher, and then the 60 is a bit lower. But at the 30 minute, also technically inconclusive. 15 minute also inconclusive. How about that? You've got the 60 in between the 10 and the 20. So on the last three moving averages for both the 1 hour, the 30 minute, and the 15, you have inconclusive. So that means we're not getting a clear trading signal to buy or sell out of these moving averages. Now let's take it back to the daily and look at the MACD. I like using the MACD as sort of my my momentum indicator. You can use the RSI, you can use stochastics. Either way it works. So I just prefer the MACD because I've used it for a while. So no surprise here. We had a sell signal at the daily. Stretch this on out. The daily level back here on the 13th of May, and both the signal line and the MACD line crossed into negative territory. So now we would honestly be waiting. We'd just be waiting for a crossover down here in negative territory to indicate a buy signal. But right now, definitely inconclusive. Let's take a look at the hourly instead. So the 1 hour level, we had our last bullish crossover was on May 29th, just yesterday evening actually, and it has crossed into into positive territory, which means that both the signal and the MACD line have crossed into positive territory. So I actually trust this is as a bullish indicator. But just remember, this was one of the first. This time frame was the one where the 60 was still, I believe, between the 10 and the 20. So, inconclusive on the moving averages, but bullish in the MACD. At the 30-minute, we had a crossover yesterday as well, May 29th, and pulled higher, pulled into positive territory late last night. So that would be a valid buy signal. Even though you had this cross here, notice that it didn't go negative. So when you have a trending market, when things are trending sideways or higher, they tend to just sort of oscillate in one area. That's why I really like seeing a crossover from positive to negative or negative to positive before I pull the trigger. But technically, this is a bullish crossover here that happened yesterday on the 30-minute. So we're getting more conclusive signals from the MACD. And then check this out. We've got a bullish crossover on the 15-minute that happened earlier this morning, just a few hours ago. And it immediately went ahead and crossed into positive territory. Now, obviously, at the 15-minute, this oscillates quite a bit more, but that is a bullish signal nonetheless. But I am more prone to wait for the wait to get a little bit more confirmation from some of the the moving averages as well. Let's go ahead and pull this back out I wanted to get the data from really, we'll just go post-pandemic. Let's do a little Fibonacci retracement and see if we see any support levels that might be relevant. I'm going to go from what I see as the very low to kind of the high. Pull this on over so we can see where we are now. And I'm going to tighten it up and move it over. So there we go. So right now we are sitting past we actually crossed the 78.6 moving retracement level and pulled back to the 61.8. We're kind of in between that right now. You can see also at the 61.8 we had this level kind of act nearly as basically as support back here in March. Twice had kind of two bottoms there before this token went on, kind of took off. And I mean, this thing has really whipped around quite a bit. Let's see, towards this 78.2% level, you saw it as support back in, that would have been April of 20 and May of 20. Support also later in May of 20. Kind of support in June of 20. Support again in July of 20. Resistance in September of 20. And also kind of in November of 20. And then once it pulled above, we saw it act as support again in January. So it's hitting some really interesting levels. I would definitely say that the $2.60, 261, this blue line here is an area of importance. I would also keep an eye on this 61.8 just in case this ends up becoming true resistance. Kind of like, even though we blew through it last week in May, I think this level could end up being resistance. It was support. That's the $3.85 level. It was support back here in March. Oftentimes support becomes resistance, and I think we are kind of there. You see that support a little bit better as I stretch it out, and it may have actually acted as resistance last week. So very interesting. I don't feel like this is a conclusive buy right now. I think we could end up, I probably would wait for it rather to cross this 385 level. I want to see it break previous support or breakthrough resistance, and then we'll come up to kind of this area here, this sort of 471-ish time for our level, which didn't fully act as support back here in April, but we did kind of break through it a little bit and then come back up and run before so powerfully falling through it. So each of these levels is really interesting. Like even this 471 level, I mean, you could argue that it was helping to play some resistance back here in March as well. So all of these, isn't it interesting how you get a pullback and you measure the full move? You look at the measurement of the full up move from mid-March of 2020 all the way to the top of May 2021. You start to see how each of these levels has been relevant, and then watching how price is reacting to it today. That's part of what I love about technical analysis. So, hey, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. I love making these videos, and seeing the support from the community definitely gives me the inspiration to keep on. I'm going to make a couple more probably before the day is out. And tomorrow, Memorial Day in the U.S. should be an interesting day for crypto, because with the equity markets closed, those of you who are addicted to trading, and yes, trading can be an addiction. I prefer it to be a profession because it needs to pay. But yeah, some people are buying and selling and buying and selling and buying and selling, and your broker just love you for it. But your account probably doesn't. But hey, crypto is open tomorrow, even though the equity markets will not be in the U.S. The futures markets will not be. So it'll either be a quiet day or people are going to be at their computers pushing the market around. So that's it. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy trading.